viewers you're watching from around the world. This is Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. I am Henry E. In a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see what we have for today, and after that, in the GF, we'll be going to our main conversation for today. So I'll get everything all sorted out for you. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. With me in the studios today to peruse on our newspaper headlines is a barrister Evans Ufeli. He is a barrister at law and also a public affairs commentator. Good morning, barrister.
My pleasure.
And welcome to Enterprise Morning today.
Thank you.
And also with me in the studio is Emeka Madunagu. He is a journalist and a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, sir. All right, so quickly let's start up the newspaper headlines, and we are kicking off with the Daily Trust newspaper, and the banner headline here says a terrorist abducts scores of female IDPs in Borno, and the writer there says they left the camp in search of firewood. Community leader, the sub-writer there says only 4 of 117 returned so far. Military, Borno government, mom. And also on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have tribalism, flawed elections, a bane of quality leadership, and that's coming from former President Jonathan. Mixed feelings as Binance exists in Nigeria. On the bottom strip of the same newspaper, we have a federal government to Israel stop war on Gaza. So let's start up with this issue, the Barrister Evans, with the issue of tribalism coming from our former President Jonathan, saying that it flawed elections a bane of quality in leadership. Do you agree to such submission?
Yeah, tribalism play a major role in every engagement, not just politics in Nigeria, even churches. Yes, if you look at general overseers of certain churches and you do an audit of membership, you'll find that gravitation. It does not matter whether the Holy Spirit is involved or any other strange forces.
To help select who he wants.
Yes, tribalism is at the focal point. Just do an audit, a quick search in your head, and you find that Nigeria has not grown. People are not yet eviscerated from the banalities of tribalism. You know why? It's so because nationhood has failed in Nigeria. You know, nationhood is a great call that everyone should come out from the enclaves of tribal engagements and enclavity to embrace the bigger dream, which is nationhood, countryhood. That is a bigger deal because there you can easily accomplish your purpose by that call, okay? But the same nationhood that was built for us in 1914 has dwindled to a point where people no longer have faith in it. Because if people like to seek solace in their tribes.
And you think
take Lagos, for example. Most of the people who came to Lagos without knowing anyone or having any relative, when they arrive, they seek solace in their tribe. They don't go to the federal government or the Lagos state government.
But isn't that a natural affiliation?
Yeah, see, you are born into a tribe. That is a natural propensity of the Almighty. Yeah. You cannot extricate your tribe from your capacity to live, livelihood and living. You understand? So, but if you restrict yourself to your tribal enclavity, it limits you. Because before 1400, during the era of conquest, the only way people could make wealth was to go to a tribe will gather and conquer another one.
True.
A tribe will gather and conquer. So that's what they have then. That's the only way man could generate it. But from that 1400, man discovered what they call the laissez-faire, the Industrial Revolution, where you can establish a company and employ whoever from wherever place. And the person, so by then, the enclaves of tribalism began to win. You understand? But when you are now coming to nationhood and nationhood is now failing, you know that the tribe being the natural propensity of man is recognized, but you also know that nationhood was touted to be the way out. You understand? And that is why the tribe today is a natural enemy of the state. Because the state came and promised through democracy that everybody is equal. How be it a lie? You understand? And gave promises that you by statistics and number you can elect your leader. They gave you what you call a permanent voters card, but they give you that permanent voters card and disable your options. They don't give you options like Buhari and the Tinubu and all that, and they say you should make a choice from all that. So there is no way people will not go back to their tribe.
True.
And there is no way tribe will not play a role in politics until we get to the point where we are so developed like America, where about 6 presidents of the United States of America came from the state of Virginia, and nobody cares. You know why? Because statehood, nationhood has prospered. So if statehood, nation will prosper in Nigeria, there will be no need for state of origin to fill it in any form. There will be no need for that, because I mean, whatever whatever the state had promised, it had delivered. So what is the essence of going to your tribal enclave to get what there?
Exactly.
Anywhere the state would fail, people will recline to their tribe because the tribe is the natural enemy of the state.
Very true. All right, Emeka, let's go to the issue of Binance. Finally, they've exited Nigeria. And the issue now is some Binance executives have come out to say that Binance isn't the problem of our weak currency in Nigeria. That they should blame international, the IMF and the World Bank to it. So do you think that is true? And what do you think would be the repercussion of all of this to our economy?
It's funny to say Binance existed in Nigeria, but Binance never existed in Nigeria.
But that's what the headline here says. It's feelings and Binance existed in Nigeria.
We have issues. Let's not go into that right now, but issues with coinage. Binance, there is no registered legal entity in Nigeria called Binance Nigeria Limited or Binance Enterprises. There's none. So, which the federal government has come out to say that Binance is not legally registered to operate in Nigeria. So that that by the side. Then you see, Binance has mainly ceased to have direct interactions with its customers, with its clients based in Nigeria. But those same clients can actually, still have business relations with Binance through other countries. If you remember the day it was announced that the operations of Binance, Forex side, have been disabled. That same day in Asia, Bitcoin and others, crypto, rallied. There was a rally. They did very well.
Yes.
So, so saying that Binance quits Nigeria, it's not putting it rightly, because you can't put nothing on nothing. So all they were just doing was just managing funds for people, peer-to-peer transactions, through crypto. But what they have now said is that they are going, because many people have even moved their money through BitBuy, Skrill, and some other platforms to other places. So it's there isn't really a problem there. Crypto is an open market. Now the other thing is that, to what they said, yes, you see, like I've always said, you can't blame someone, your colleague for taking advantage of an opportunity that was well in sight, and you refuse to do nothing about it. You say, but we're working together. Why didn't you tell me? No, the world is a competitive place. Nigeria has had all the options to investigate, to look into crypto and participate in crypto. But we chose to be misled by IMF and the World Bank. Oh no, don't go near crypto. Crypto is illegal and all of that. But El Salvador played in crypto, and today El Salvador made 40. El Salvador, their Bitcoin holding is worth $41 million. Senegal is also playing. Some countries are also playing, and people had advised the government under Nigerian government under Buhari, why not, develop a Nigerian coin, and then back it up with resources so that Nigerians can also trade. But you see, the same IMF that told us that the naira was overvalued we rushed into it. Believing Naira was overvalued. The former CBN government Emefiele was just wasting money defending the Naira for no reason.
So he shouldn't have.
Now, Cardoso,
Yeah.
the Emefiele successor, has suddenly discovered that, what IMF said that Naira was overvalued, but it was a lie. Now he's saying the Naira is undervalued. So you see the problem with the currency today. Let's compare with a country like Indonesia. The Indonesian currency exchanges at 15,500 baht to $1. We are still grappling with 1,500, and everybody is shouting dollar. Balumon seller, orange seller, mango seller, shouting dollar. But Indonesia, do you know the interesting thing? Indonesia has a vibrant economy.
So even if the value of the currency isn't good enough,
who cares about it? Even China will gladly devalue. China will gladly even devalue its own currency more. So that its exports, can be strong in the global market. Our problem in Nigeria is very simple: low productivity. We are not producing as much as we are consuming. And the simple thing, when you are not producing as much as you are consuming, what do you find? You have a balance of, trade problem, because you're importing from elsewhere, you're not giving them anything. So cargo ships, cargo planes bring in cargo to your country, but they're not living with much or even anything. Then you now have a balance of payments problem. And let me tell you, at the heart of global business is payments. Yes, locally, we have one of the best payment infrastructure in the world, Nigeria, that you can make a payment now, and within seconds, it will get to the other. Some places, even in the United States, it can even take 24 hours. In some parts of the world, it can take 5 days.
True.
But we have not, escalated that open door
to make that happen.
To use it to our advantage. And that is our problem.
True.
So if you have a balance of payments problem, balance of trade problem, you should clearly identify them and do all you can to ramp up your exports. Be more productive. Divorce the dollar from your domestic production. So at the end of the day, your economy will run. It doesn't matter what the Naira is exchanging to the dollar. It doesn't matter, because your exports, your exports will bring in so much money. Your reserves will grow, and then your citizens will be happy.
Very true. So quickly, let's move on to our next daily. Here we have the Vanguard newspaper, and the banner headline here says Nigeria must battle rising food insecurity as priority. And the writer there says, and that's coming from IMF, and the writer there says, capping fuel prices, low electricity tariffs could cost Nigeria 3% of GDP. Also coming from IMF, ironically. On the top strip of the same newspaper, we have Dangote plans a trading arm for refinery. And Lagos, El Gas, huge allocation, little development. On the bottom strip of the same newspaper, we have deadline on NIN accounts linkage. Most banks yet to implement directive. Barrister Vance, let's take a look at this issue. It's becoming very ridiculous with the IMF saying one thing and doing another thing. It said here, Nigeria must battle rising food insecurity as priority. The same IMF is telling us that capping fuel prices, low electricity tariffs could cost Nigeria 3% of GDP. Why are we having this sort of controversy?
Well, the two issues are different. They are not the same. So, talking about food security is part of what we must do right now. And the option open to this government, they have shut it down. And that's the option of opening the border. Okay? They are saying, no, we want to...
We must produce what we eat.
You must produce what we eat. You must produce what we eat. But see, that thing you are producing that you are eating, the cost is high. There is food, but there's no money to buy it. Okay? So if you have food and there's no money to buy it, open the border, let more food come on food. If more food hits food, the price must fall.
But isn't it depleting our currency? Because remember, we're still going to use Naira, convert to dollar to get food into the country. Don't you think that would increase the demand of the dollar?
We're not talking about, we don't have a common border with America. Common borders with African countries around us. Open up the space. Okay, this is not a dollar thing. This one is not a dollar thing. Open the border. Because the people who are selling the food, who have it here, they are saying that the cost of production, because of the removal of subsidy, and the cost of transportation and everything, if you put that all together, this is where we are. Okay, in those African countries, they are not calculating subsidy.
Oh, okay.
You understand? They are not adding running costs of subsidy over there. They already have a stable on that area. So let food come in from there. When food coming from there, these ones who are holding this with price, by the time there's a mass exodus, people facing that border to go and buy from there, these ones will be forced to bring their price down. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They can't keep it, they can't store it, they can't keep it forever. So it will have an effect. Also, in the interim, let us open the border. It's very important. If you have to solve the problem, what IMF is saying, they're not misleading, because you see, we're not even under any obligation to follow what IMF says. They are advisory. Yeah. They just give advice. You understand? Sometimes the advice could be right, sometimes it could be wrong. Sometimes they will correct themselves. On several occasions, IMF has said something today, 2 weeks later they will come and say that postulation was wrong. Okay, this and this was not considered, there was this and that. We know that. So, but the issue is that, of course, talk about the issue of tariff and all that. Why not? Look at the generation capacity of the country. Look at the distribution network. You find the disparity.
Yes.
The disparity because of technical issues. Just between January and now, the national grid collapsed 4 times. Had collapsed 4 times. So those postulations are not wrong as far as I'm concerned. But this government don't take advice. The president would rather go somewhere and start bragging or throwing jibe or saying Bismarck does not understand the economics of governance and things like that. The president can even come make a statement on this analysis we are doing this morning. He's more concerned with those who are criticizing him than to fix the country. Is that how to lead? He's leading Nigeria impulsively from his thinking. He's not doing any planning, no groundwork, nothing. Subsidy is gone. Impulsive. You cannot lead 200 million people impulsive. You must sit down and do a thinking, a walkover, before you are able to lead 200 million people. So the major problems we have with this government and the way things are today is that we have no leadership that is pragmatic, that is planning, that is executing strategies. You have just one man that is acting impulsively, and that is why we are stranded. And the moment you draw his attention to what the country ought to do, he starts bragging. So it tells you that we are going to a very wrong direction. We are not in a good place at all.
Very, very sad. Truly very sad. Now, finally, let's go to our last daily for today. It's coming from the Punch newspaper, and the banner headline here says, food smuggling. Federal government intercepts 141 grain trucks. Drivers threaten strike over attacks. And the rider there says, Customs seized 120 smuggled grain trucks. EFCC intercepts 21. Tinubu orders sales of forfeited food. And the sub-rider there to that same story says, truck owners threaten to stop transporting food over attacks, say no insurance for looted foodstuffs. And on the top strip of the same newspaper, we have Obasanjo unveils new book on leadership at 87th birthday. Nigeria's electricity fuel subsidies may go up 7 trillion naira, and that's coming from the IMF. And also, Army Chief dismisses coup calls, demands good leadership. Emeka, here we have it again. The Army Chiefs dismissing coup calls, demand good leadership. Is there something in the offing?
It is because of the absence of good leadership. There will be calls for coup. It's as simple as it is. You can't give what you don't have. You can't put nothing on nothing. So the obsession, the army, the military authorities have been so obsessed with coup for the past 2 weeks. And yet the security problems persist.
So don't you think there's something
It shows they don't understand their remit. They are confused. Because school is not even our problem. It's not our problem. If you feel there are inclinations to school, you investigate and deal with it. But what we still have is that you still have the key problem of insecurity.
But those key issues are the antidote for the call. Don't you think so?
That's what I'm saying. When you don't have good leadership, people will start calling for alternatives, and that is what we've had in recent times. The solution to all of this is this: let everybody actually understand what they have to do in their respective positions. All this grandstanding and all of that will not help us because they don't even understand what is at stake. They are moving away from what is at stake. And that's why they are so obsessed with school. Deal with insecurity. Focus on insecurity. Look, let me tell you something. If prices of food go down today, which is also an issue of security, you see, when we talk of insecurity, too often people forget that hunger is a security problem, is a security threat. A man killed his son the other day in Abia State.
Yes.
Because he ate the last portion of food. That's murder. And that's a security problem. So when we say insecurity, the insecurity even comes into our stomachs and comes right out of our stomachs. What the emptiness of our stomachs really, what they generate in us, what they bring out from us. Food inflation is at 35%. That is alarming. That is insecurity in itself. Beginning from the very point of insecurity. Then you talk of kidnapping, you talk of banditry, terrorism, and all of that. So it's good that he has called for good leadership. But Nigerian big men have a way of using very nice words. To couch what they should actually come out and say, look, the system is not working. Mr. President, make necessary reforms. But you will be afraid to be sacked. So you just say calls for good leadership. Who are you calling?
Now, Barrister Ufeli, let's tie this up. Food security, not having sufficient food in the country, to the banner headline here: food smuggling, federal government intercept 141 grain trucks. Drivers threaten strike over attacks. Now, he talked about food security equally being a threat to the problem that we have in Nigeria. Please, can you help us?
It's a security issue. It's a pure security. The truck drivers still are threatening to go on strike.
To go on strike, exactly.
Because people are stopping them. The masses are stopping them and they're looting, and there's no insurance. You understand? In a civilized country where there's an upsurge and the masses are doing this damage, the government will quell the situation and pay back the owners of those businesses. That's what government should have done. That's what government should do. Government should guarantee security and the welfare of the people. Guaranteeing security and welfare include insurance for people who do businesses. But here, you have a president that don't even know what is going on. You have a National Assembly that had not even called for an emergency hearing on the issue of looting. You understand? The remote and immediate causes of this, the government orchestrated. The government have not taken responsibilities on the issue under reference. So, for a lack of strategy, you cannot, I keep saying this, you cannot lead 200 million people the way this by proxy, by not knowing what you are doing at all, or by grandstanding on a leadership that have lost touch with the people. It's a big security issue. Sometimes, let me tell you how strong it is. Sometimes in the Holy Writ, during famine, hunger, it got to a point where people had to take turns on whose child will be killed for them to eat to survive.
Whoa.
You understand? Like he said in Abia State, a man killed his son because the boy ate what was left in the house. That boy couldn't have eaten that food if he was not hungry.
Yes.
So that challenge, You should not push the people to report Thomas Hobbes in the Leviathan wrote that anywhere where the people are disgruntled, the kings cannot find peace. So there is no way that this government will move an inch, will move forward. I heard them talking about foreign policy the other day, and I was wondering, which foreign policy? They were talking about the review of COP 2023 or all those very technical jargons they were talking about, and I was wondering. So this is where we are. This is what the government is preoccupied with. There's no serious emergency meeting on how to meet the needs of people, food crisis. When you lead people to the point where there's food crisis, you see this subsidy is a child's play.
Now, as the rabbi, when you look into your crystal ball, with our president still leading us impulsively, what do you think, or what do you see on a general scale?
Leading people impulsively is gross misconduct. The National Assembly should commence an impeachment proceeding against Tinubu for his lack of tact, his misunderstanding of the issues, and his cluelessness. It is a thoughtless leadership process cannot produce any kind of results. Anywhere in the world where you see the citizens are vibrant and there's prosperity, it does not fall on them. It comes by strategy and governance. So when you have the absence of governance, the National Assembly is gross misconduct. So that, and the ground for impeachment is gross misconduct. So what the National Assembly do is to commence that proceedings for its impeachment. Unfortunately, the Senate President is acting like the spokesman of the president or the PA of the president. That's exactly how he acts. So you see that we are locked in serious danger. This nation must rise above what we are seeing. So it's now, the ball now falls at the court of the citizens, who originally should own power by virtue of philosophy of governance. So the citizens must do the needful. They have to do what they have to do. That is where we are.
Very true. Well, that's where we are. And that's just about the time we have for our newspaper headlines. Today, I'd love to say thank you to Barrister Evans Ofeli for being part of our show today, and Mekama Donagu for being also. Please, I would indulge you to maybe stay for our main conversation, if you may. Quickly. All right, so that's good. When we return, I abduct more. When we return, 100 female IDPs in Gamboro, Ngala, Borno State abducted. That in a bit when we come back. Please don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.